Slope is rise over run. To calculate rise, you subtract your y values. To calculate the run, you subtract your x values. A line that has positive slope rises from left to right. Ignore the bumpiness of that line. It is a positive slope line that I sketched. A line with negative slope falls from left to right. A line with a slope of 0 is a horizontal line. And a line with undefined slope is a vertical line. Using the slope formula, we are going to find the slope of each of these pairs of lines and then decide if the line rises, falls, is horizontal, or is vertical. So in the first one, we need to subtract the y values. 3 minus 3. And I use arrows to show the direction of my subtraction, because if you do the second point minus the first point, when you subtract your x values, you also have to do second point minus first point. So on the bottom, when we're doing our run, we need to do 4 minus 0. If you need to label each point, x1, y1, x2, y2, go for it if that helps you. 3 minus 3 is 0. 4 minus 0 is 4. What is 0 divided by 4? 0. And a 0 slope is a horizontal line. We're actually going to jump to number 4 next, because I like to do things out of order apparently. So if we do our y values, we have to subtract our y values. 7 minus 3. On the bottom, subtract your x values. 7 minus 7. We get 4 over 0. What is 4 divided by 0? It is undefined. Some people struggle to remember, when is it 0, when is it undefined? 0 on the top is fine. 0 divided by anything is 0. 0 on the bottom is bad. If you ever forget, use your calculator. If you try to do 0 divided by 4 in your calculator, it will tell you 0. If you do 4 divided by 0, it will give you an error message, because one of the biggest rules in math is you cannot divide by 0. Do you remember in elementary school when you were first learning division and they gave you some sort of counters like beans or colored counters or something? And they said, okay, take 16 beans, counters, whatever, and divide them into 4 groups. And so you moved them around and divided them into 4 groups. Now imagine that the teacher said, take these 16 counters and divide them into 0 groups. Where would they go? This isn't Hogwarts, so we can't wave a wand at them and make them disappear. So since you can't take something and put it into 0 groups, that doesn't exist, you cannot divide by 0. And a line with undefined slope is a vertical line. All right, now let's go to number 2. Subtract your y's. Negative 4 minus 1. Subtract your x's. What should I write on the bottom?
1 minus negative 5.
Yep, 1 minus a negative 5 or 1 plus 5. The subtraction symbol is part of the slope formula. So even if your coordinate is negative, you still have to use subtraction. So you'll either have minus a negative, or you all know that minus a negative is a positive. We end up with negative 5 over 6. That is a negative slope, so this line falls. Try number 3 on your own. 3 over 9 reduces to 1/3. That is a positive slope, so that line rises. A skateboard ramp has a rise of 15 inches and a run of 54 inches. They are telling you straight up what the rise is and what the run is. Slope is rise over run. So the rise, 15, over the run, 54. What do you suppose we need to do with this fraction? We need to simplify it. So you can either simplify it by hand by finding something that you could divide out of both of these, or grab your calculator, 15, ABC button, 54, hit enter, watch it reduce. If you have a graphing calculator, 15 divided by 54, math button, enter, enter. This should reduce to 5/18. The slope of the skateboard ramp is 5/18. Okay. Slope also tells you about the steepness of the line. Remember that slope is rise over run. So I'm going to do a little like extra thingy over here. Think about a slope of, 2/5. That means if we've got 1 point, to find the next point, we would rise 2, run 5. Compare that to a slope of, I don't know, let's do 7/5. We would rise 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which line is steeper? The line with 2/5 slope or the line with 7/5 slope? The one with 7/5 is steeper. 7/5 is 1 point something, 2/5 is 0.4. So the larger the number, the steeper the slope. And this says the line with the slope of greater absolute value. So basically ignore the negatives. Whichever number, if it were positive, is larger than the other, that would be the steeper line. So on your own, find the slope of line 1. Then find the slope of line 2. And then we will compare those two slopes and decide which is steeper. I got 4/2 for line 1, which is a slope of 2. So 2 over 1, rise 2, run 1. Compared to a slope of 3/5. 2 is definitely larger than 1. 3/5 is smaller than 1. So which line is steeper? Line 1 is steeper.